at 9 o'clock. Mandy, can you conduct the roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Poplawski. Commissioner Poplawski. Jerry, are you here? Okay. Commissioner Munoz.
Here.
Chair Evian.
Here.
And Commissioner Poplawski.
Here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There we go. And Commissioner Beth Michelle is absent by prior arrangement.
Okay. Has proper posting of the agenda been established?
Yes, it has.
Okay, so item 2, approval of minutes. Approval of minutes of our August 17th, 2022 commission meeting. Do any commissioners have any comments to make about that, about the minutes?
I'll move to approve.
Before that, is there any public comment on this item? Okay, so Terry?
Yeah, I move to approve.
Second.
Can we take a roll call?
Commissioner Poplawski.
Aye.
Chair Evian.
Aye.
And Commissioner Munoz.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
All right, public expression. This is an opportunity for the public to address the commission on matters not listed on this agenda. Individuals wishing to address the commission under public expression are welcome to do so via email, Zoom, or voicemail message. Is there anyone who would like to, any member of the public who would like to speak? No. Okay, moving on. Number 4, employee organization. This agenda item is used for employee organization representatives to present information or requests to the Civil Service Commission. Any representative from employee organizations? No. Closed session, we have no items on closed session for today. So moving on to item 6, classification. 6A, classification study, Cultural Services Agency.
Good morning, commissioners.
Morning.
This is William Schertz, Human Resources Manager. I have Brandy Dalzell here to introduce this item. It's a classification study for administrative assistants and a reclassification recommendation. Go ahead, Brandy.
Thank you. Good morning, commissioners. This is Brandy Dalzell, HR analyst. We have here before you to present a classification study that was done for the library, and the recommended motion is to approve the reclassification of incumbent Yoshiko Stevens, administrative assistant, to office services supervisor, or as modified by the commission. The background of this is the Cultural Services Agency requested a classification study of administrative assistant incumbent Yoshiko Stevens. The incumbent completed a department job description which illustrates the incumbent's duties and responsibilities and at what percentage the time was spent doing these functions. I did include this in the agenda for you guys to review. Also, while throughout the study in reviewing it, the duties assigned and completed by Ms. Stevens, we spoke to the library department head and office services manager, which is Barb and Deb Vader, who are on the line with us to support if there are any additional questions. But during this time, we did the review and had more conversations about what Ms. Stevens did and how she fit into the duties of the capacity, which was beyond that of her current classification. The position, excuse me, Mrs. Stevens' position is involved in all aspects of the department administrative functions, including staffing and hiring processes, maintaining departmental employee files, and generating related paperwork, preparing and monitoring the department's payroll records and documentation, monitoring contracts, coordinating work processes, training staff, budget involvement, and reporting, as well as departmental bookkeeping duties. Human Resources analyzed and reviewed in depth 2 different classifications, the Administrative Secretary and Office Services Supervisor, and determined the appropriate classification for incumbent Stevens is Office Services Supervisor. Human Resources found the Office Services Supervisor classification includes duties and essential job functions, which match the duties indicated by the incumbent on the completed department job description. Both classification specifications which were reviewed were attached here in the agenda and have been included with the memo as well for your review. It is at this time also that if you have any questions, I'm available, as well as Barb and Deb.
Okay, thank you. Any commissioners, any comments?
I move that we approve the reclassification in Yoshiko Stevens, Administrative Assistant to Office Service Supervisor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Randy, can you take a roll call,
Yes.
please?
Commissioner Munoz,
Aye.
Commissioner Pulaski,
Aye.
Chair Evian.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right. Item 6B, modification of classification specification, revision to reflect current referenced organizations and classifications.
Thank you. This is William Schertz, Human Resources Manager. What you have before you here today is a request from Human Resources to approve, for us to allow, to approve Human Resources to revise classification specifications for reasons of just simple changes in reference to changes in organizations and classification titles. Just a little bit of background here. County departments are sometimes, well, actually, they're often referenced in classification specifications in the job summary, distinguishing characteristics, or throughout the examples of duties and essential job functions. The classification titles are often referenced in classification specifications as part of the job summary or distinguishing characteristics as being reporting that a particular class spec being reporting to another classification, or they are listed as being distinguished from a higher or lower classification. So during the past 2 years, the county has created new departments by merging 2 departments into one, splitting one agency into 3 separate departments and creating a new department altogether. Modified classification specifications occur occasionally and can cause a title change, and you've seen that over the last few years. New classifications may also replace some of the older classifications that are connected to other lower or higher level classifications in a classification series or in direct reporting relationships. These changes in the county organizations and the classification titles cause simple yet needed revisions in dozens of our class specifications, which require commission approval. What Human Resources is recommending is the commission approve current and future simple changes in referenced organizations and classification titles in all of the existing classification specifications as needed. This blanket approval of simple changes will allow expeditious updates to classification specifications, and quite frankly, it would reduce the amount of, it would eliminate the need to bring dozens of class specs to the commission for these very simple revisions for organization titles or classification titles. So as an example, Health and Human Services Agency was disbanded and it's now 3 departments. There are dozens of class specs that reference HHSA. And so we need to change those to referencing whether it's a social services department or a public health department or the behavioral health recovery services department. So that's just one example. And so it's just it's basically administrative revisions due to changes that the commission has approved or that the organization, the county organizations have changed over time. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
I have just 2 questions. So this is all stemming from the reorganization of the county departments, yes? Is that what's spearheading this? And
Yes, that's what initially caused this. There were a few changes in departments, reorganizations, and I think over time, actually, some of the other thing was classification titles or new classifications, or there were revisions of classifications that we find out later that they're referenced in other class specs. Then we would so it doesn't so that the accuracy of that the other class spec is no longer there in reference to the new a new class spec or whatever that's being referenced. So yeah, that's where this came from.
so my other question is, does this affect currently employed individuals if their position is reclassified? Does it affect their pay in any way?
No, it has no effect in any way to the actual employee. It just references where that employee's classification is located. You know, well, I guess, yeah, department owned, so to speak. For instance, there's classifications that only social services has, and so we reference those classifications to that department. So it has no, it's basically doesn't change anything for the employee other than that class spec that they're in is now referenced to being a part of a department, or that they are they're reporting directly to a different classification title, or their classification is being distinguished from another classification with a new title. So that it doesn't change anything for the employees.
And it doesn't change the actual description of their work. It's mainly just getting people in the right places. Is that right?
That's correct. It doesn't change the content. Any content change we would bring to the commission for
right.
approval. This is just a reference to a department or another class title.
Okay. Patrick Hickey, I see you're here. Did you want to speak on this?
Not on this topic. I was hoping to be in earlier, but I didn't have the Zoom link until now during the organizational part of the agenda. Just had two quick questions, but I can hold until this topic is done.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there any commissioners, any other comments or questions? No? I invite a motion to be made.
I'll make a motion to approve Human Resources request to allow current and future simple changes in reference to organizations and classification titles in all existing classification specifications as needed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mandy, can you take the roll call, please?
Yes. Chair Evian,
Aye.
Commissioner Poplawski,
Aye.
Commissioner Munoz.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think this might be a good place for you to speak, Patrick, under number 7, other business. Why don't we do it now?
Yeah, I just wanted to check in with the commission regarding the scheduling of 2 appeals, 2 employee appeals that are coming up, and whether the November and December dates are possibilities, if there's going to be quorum for those meetings, just so we can start preparing.
We don't have one.
If Sherry can make it via Zoom, we have a quorum because Terry said he can make for the rest of the year, and Martin said he was available, so we can have it for the 16th, not the 17th, if it needed.
Okay, so Commissioner Evian,
The 16th of November. I'll be in Hawaii.
okay.
And
Oh, take me with you.
I just, I don't see that working.
Right. So that so it appears, I believe we have a quorum for December.
Yes, we did.
Right. Patrick, I believe there is a quorum for December, but not for November, due to Commissioner Evian's travel plans. So that's what we have to work with. We actually reached out to see if there are multiple dates available in November, and it doesn't appear that there are. For a quorum.
So we can plan then for the Jans Bauman appeal for December the 21st. Is that the date that we're looking at?
December 14th, we're gonna potentially cancel the 21st just with it being so close to the holidays, but we sent out a poll to the commissioners for a special meeting on the 14th, and we were able to get a quorum for that day.
Okay.
The reason for that, the third week of December, the county is essentially closed to the public. It's my understanding because, yeah, so we wanted to move it up to a week to the 14th as a special meeting.
Does that still leave us short with hearing one appeal?
Yeah, I believe it just delays the other appeal to January unless there's another special meeting somewhere at another time.
And we're not able to do that other appeal at the December meeting?
No, it'll take the full, the first appeal will take the full day at least.
Okay. And so moving it to January is preferable than having the 14th and 15th in December? Is that preferable?
We could survey the commissioners and find out from Mr. Hickey if that's something that he's something that would work for the appellant.
Yeah, we would be open to that. If the commission is available, we could do both dates.
Okay. All right. So we'll see what we can do regarding scheduling a special meeting for 14th and 15th.
Okay, great. So I think there's no other business. So moving on to item 8, the Human Resources Director report.
This is William Schertz, Human Resources Manager. We don't have I don't have an HR Director report for you this time around. It's pretty much business as usual within Human Resources, doing all those things that we constantly do. So there's nothing here for, actually, I would just say that we have a 42 classification studies that are on our list. So there's plenty of class work that will be eventually coming to the commission as we complete these studies and requests for studies. So you'll be busy in the new year, believe me.
All right. Great. Well, thank you. I think we've covered everything. All business has been covered. So let's, so I think we should adjourn the meeting. It's 9:20. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, commissioners.
Bye.
Have a great day, everyone.
Yeah, have a good day.
So we're not having a meeting in October?
Deborah, it doesn't appear,
Doesn't sound that way.
it doesn't appear to me.
So it's scratched out on my calendar, otherwise I'll show up.
You'll show up?
Yeah.
Okay,
And then